So we start our Transkribus workshop. Here are my email address, so feel free to write me also after this day if you have some questions. And this is the program of the day. The first 1 hour and a half is an introduction to Transkribus. Then we have a coffee break, and then the first hands-on session, and we will learn how to upload images and applying layout analysis, which is the first step before applying handwritten text recognition. Then there is the lunch break and another session to understand how handwritten text recognition works, how to choose and train a model. Then a small break, and at the end, the last hand-on session when we will try to apply a model to our documents. And I will record the introduction and this part. And feel free to interrupt me, ask questions, is okay. And so, handwritten text recognition, or I will call it also HTR, is the technology that enables us to convert scanned images of text into machine-encoded text. So we have photos of an image, of a document, which normally isn't searchable. If I have a JPEG or PNG image, it's not searchable. This technology enables us to transcribe automatically the image and search them. It is similar to OCR. OCR makes the same thing for printed or typed text, but it works a bit differently, because OCR is for printed text, which are really regular, because each letter correspond always to the same form and shape. And OCR works on recognize individual letters. So it focuses on one letter, the black dots, and it recognizes it. The layout analysis or segmentation, which is the finding the lines, is integrated into the OCR engine. So we don't need to make the layout analysis, so finding all the text regions and the lines before transcribing that. And it is an advanced state. For instance, Google Books works with OCR, and we can just type a name or a word, and we will find all the occurrences in Google Books. And written text recognition faces many more challenges, because the written documents, the hand can be very different. The letters are not always the same, so even if it is one hand, it's not so regular. And so these are the main challenges: the different hands and the different shapes of the letters. So it's not regular. And so we need a different technology to handwritten documents. HTR has been applied to handwritten text, but also to early modern printed books. They often are not. It's difficult for OCR to obtain high accuracy levels, so you can apply HTR also to printed books. For example, books in Gothic script, which is very difficult because the letters are one near the other, and it's difficult to read, so you can apply HTR. It doesn't work on the single letters, but it recognizes the entire line of text. And you need to do the layout analysis or segmentation as a separate step. So the first step we will see is the layout analysis, so finding the text regions and the lines, and then we can apply the handwritten text recognition. And it is in its early stages, so we don't have the same accuracy of OCR for now, and we don't have a general handwritten text recognition model that can be applied to all the languages and all the scripts. So this is so the research on handwritten text recognition has started in the 50s. I just put this this title. So it was a conference in 1957, and they talk about devices for reading handwritten characters. So it has a long history, but even if there have passed 70 years, we don't have the same accuracy of OCR. In the last decade, HR has significantly improved thanks to artificial intelligence. So they decided to apply artificial intelligence to this technology, and so the machine learns from an example, some example you give to it, and then thanks to artificial intelligence and deep neural network approach, it improves. So this is a big change in the approach of handwritten text recognition. And it is a promising field, and many things it will change the scholarship and the research questions we can ask. And for example, this is the director of the American Philosophical Society Library, and he said the technology has tremendous potential. And then I put a tweet of this digital humanities professor, and he said that HTR has improved over the last few years and it will transform archival text-based research. This doesn't mean that the paleography isn't needed anymore, because we need the expertise to train the models, so it's not all automatically, and at the same time we need paleographers and historians to correct the transcription after. But it gives new opportunities, because now with HTR we can start to work with big data also in the archives, which for now it's only something that we can do with printed books and OCR. For example, there are a lot of projects of printed newspapers because we can extract the data from them quite easily, but there are not such projects for manuscripts or unwritten newsletters like in my project. And at the same time, it will give us the possibility to browse the archives and search some words. So even if there is not a catalog of one archive, there is only the digitization. With applying HTR, we can search some words in the archive, and I believe it is helpful because we have a lot of digitized manuscripts and documents, but at the end you can't really engage with them in a new way. It's always the same research. Well, thanks to HTR, you can search a word, a term, a place, a person, and maybe find new documents that you want to use. So this is how so in the last decades, HTR has improved a lot, also thanks to research projects that have been funded to develop this technology. And now I'm speaking about HTR for historical sources, because there is also HTR for contemporary handwriting, or there are some private software that you can use. Also Google has an option. But in this case, it works they work well for contemporary English because they are based on the language of the internet, so they can guess very well the words. But this is the HTR project for historical sources that I know. The first one is Transkribus, the one we are using today, and it started in 2013 as a Transcriptorium, funded by the European Union 7th Framework Program. I believe this first project was at the University of Valencia, together with other university, a consortium of university. Then they changed a bit the name, RED project, and they received another grant from the European Commission. And in 2019, the grant ended, so they decided to create a Red Cup. This Red Cup, which is a cooperative. It's a European cooperative, so the members are the universities and the libraries and archives using Transkribus, and they pay some subscription, some type of subscription, and the money are used. The money is used to sustain the infrastructure and improve the technology. And we need to consider this because before November 2019, Transkribus was free, while now there are some free pages that you can use, but then you need to pay some cent for each page you want to use, to transcribe. And this is because they need to sustain the infrastructure in Innsbruck and the server there. And now Transkribus is hosted by the University of Innsbruck. There are other options. A Scriptorium is another project. I will send you also the slides with all the links. And this is developed by the Digital Humanities team at the Institute in Paris, and they are now part of this resilience research infrastructure funded by the European Horizon 2020 scheme. So they are trying to give the same option of Transkribus, but the problem that I see with a Scriptorium is that I haven't tried it because you need very powerful computers. So all the work is done on your computer and not in another servers. And so for my little project, it doesn't work very well. Probably if you have IT staff behind you in a university, it can work. And maybe it's an option. Then there is this project, Optimizing Cross-Source Transcription using Handwritten Text Recognition, led by the University of Minnesota and the cross-sourcing platform Zooniverse. Zooniverse is a very big cross-sourcing platform, and they won this grant to understand how handwritten text recognition can be integrated into cross-sourcing, and if they can work together. And then there are also some publishing companies using artificial intelligence and written text recognition. So HTR is also used in the private sector. For example, Adam Matthew Digital is a publishing company, and there is a platform with different archive. It hosts different archives and provides also HTR to access these digitized archives. So it's a quite big field, and there are different ramifications and uses of handwritten text recognition. So today we will focus on Transkribus. Transkribus is a comprehensive platform for the digitization, artificial intelligence-powered text recognition, transcription, and searching of historical documents from any place, any time, and any language. So it's important to understand that it is a platform. It's not only used for handwritten text recognition, even if it is the main aim of Transkribus, and HTR can, if properly trained, can work with any documents and language, because it's not based on a language or a script. So you train your model and it can be trained on any language. So what can we do with Transkribus? We can upload our images and then decide to transcribe them manually or automatically. Even if you want to transcribe them manually, I believe that it is a good space for transcribing. So normally we have the historians transcribe with the screen, half of the screen with the image and half of the screen with the Word document. Or if you're lucky, you have two screens and you can work simultaneously on them. With Transkribus, you have a correspondence between the lines of text and the lines of the transcription. So even if you want to transcribe manually, it helps you to work faster, and then you can export your documents in different formats, even PDF or Word. So it is an option, not the only one, but an option. But the big thing is to transcribe automatically. Then you can search your documents, and also with this tool called keyword spotting. So I will explain later but the keyword spotting enables you to search a word or a phrase, even if it's not transcribed correctly. So it gives you, it makes some guesses and give you the confidence, a percentage of the confidence of its guess. And then you can tag your transcriptions with different types of tag. You can also create some tags. For example, if you want to tag all the persons or all the places, all the dates that appears in your documents, and it is it is easier than adding the tags manually, for example, with XML, or to use Word and then you can export the transcription in various formats, as we will see, and you can also work collaboratively. So there is this option to share the collections with others. For example, I set up a collection for today, and I created this collection and I share it with you. You should have received an email from Transkribus saying that I share it with you. And this, I think, is good if you want to work with others on the same documents. Hi, Vote. Vote is a colleague of my project, and we can also help us if we have some difficulties, technical difficulties. You can ask him. So, why Transkribus? There are some pros and some cons of using Transkribus, and I want to clearly say that. So the pros are that no coding skills are required, so everyone can use it, and it runs on a normal computer, and it is quite easy to learn. I believe that in 1-2 days you can learn how to use Transkribus, both in the expert client software and the browser version. It is well documented because there are many articles about that. There is the support from the Red Cup, so the staff of Transkribus, but there is also an active community of users. There is this Transkribus user group on Facebook where you can post questions, and you receive quite quickly some feedback. Even if you have some problem, you can ask there. You can use public models, so models that are made public by other researchers. So you can, as we will see today, we are not going to train our own model. I will explain you how to train one, but that it takes 1-2 months to do that, because you need some transcriptions. But you can start to use public models, so models made available by Transkribus or by other researchers. And normally they are quite general models. So a model for the 18th century English or 16th century Italian. It is easy to train a new model. You don't need coding skill, or you don't need to know how artificial intelligence works. You have this option to search, tag, collaborate with different roles. So I can assign different roles to the collaborators. Someone can be editor, others can be transcribers or just readers. So you can decide which level of engagement you want to give to the others. And this had, so for example, if there is one transcribe, if you assign the transcriber role, the person can just transcribe, but maybe don't delete pages, and it helps. And you can export it in different formats. The cons are obviously the price, because it's not free. So the source code is published on GitHub, so if you know how to run by yourself, you can do it. But if you want to use the software and if the infrastructure, you need to pay for each page you want to transcribe. At the beginning, you have, when you register, you have 500 free credits, so you can transcribe around 500 free pages without paying. But then you need to buy credits packages, and there are also some options for the university if you want to buy them with the university. This is only for applying HTR to your documents. If you want to training a model, do the layout analysis, or using Transkribus for manually transcribing your documents, this is free. So now we will probably apply, so use, I don't know, 10, transcribe with HTR 10 pages, but all the other things we are doing are free. And there are some scholarship programs, so if you are a PhD student, or you use Transkribus for teaching, you can ask free credits for them. So it's not a limited number of free credits, but they can give you a quite good amount of free credits. If there is a form on their website, but if you are thinking to integrate Transkribus in a research project, maybe after your PhD, you need to consider that as an element in your funding. Another problem is that a trained model cannot be exported and can be used only within Transkribus. So when we train a model, I can make it public, or I can share it with other users in Transkribus, but I cannot export the data of the training model. And so for me, it's not a big problem, because I don't know what I can do with this data, but for example, the other option, a scriptorium, enables you to export the data and maybe apply them in another machine, with another program. Other two elements, the Transkribus Expert Client, which is the software you downloaded, is a bit old-fashioned, so it's not so nice, and they are trying to develop this browser version, Transkribus Lite, but it depends what you want to do, but there are still some problems, especially if you want to add the tags or annotations. So this is my from my experience, this is the main problem with Transkribus Lite. It's very, so it is faster than the software, but at the same time, there are some bugs in it, and they need to fix them, I believe. So this is we are now going to talk about the Transkribus Expert client. So the Transkribus Expert client is the software you downloaded. You unzip the file and you see this list of folders and files, and then you need to click on this application, this file, which is the application, and you will see the symbol of Transkribus, and then you will start. This is the first page, probably you have already seen it. While Transkribus Lite is a bit different, you don't need to download anything. You just go to the link and you log in, and this is the first interface that you see with the different action you can do and your documents. This is the Transkribus workflow that you need always to have in mind when you work with Transkribus. I took it from an article, I believe this one, Transforming Scholarship in the Archives Through Handwritten Text Recognition. Transkribus as a case study is the main article and the main paper if you want to understand the history of Transkribus and what Transkribus can do. So the first step is to import your documents, your image. Then there is this second step, which is the segmentation. I call it layout analysis. The idea is that you need to recognize the text regions and the lines of your documents. And you can do it manually or automatically, as we will see. At this point, you have if you want to apply handwritten text recognition, as in our case, you have two options. You can apply an existing model, so there are many, like 120 public models on Transkribus, and you can try to apply a model that someone has trained on similar documents. Or you need to create your model, and in this case you need some training data, which are the transcription of your documents. You can train, and then you train your model and you apply them to the documents. Applying HTR, you obtain the recognized text that you can export, and within Transkribus you can also use the keyword spotting tool. So even if the transcription isn't 100% correct, the keyword spotting helps you to find names and phrases. So the first thing to do is to log in, and we are now talking about the Transkribus Expert Client software. And there is this place where you can log in to your account, and you put your credential, and then here beneath there is the option to choose or create a collection. I believe that now you should see probably only one collection, which is the one that I share with you, and if you go there, if you click on collection, you will see all the list of your collection. In this case, I have different ones, and you can click on the Transkribus workshop collection, or you can create a new collection. If later you will create your own collection with your own documents. After that, we need to import our documents, and it's a bit tricky to find where you can import your documents, but there is this little sign. It is a folder with a green arrow, and this is the place where you can import your documents. So I need to say that when they talk about a document for Transkribus is a folder or a book. So for me, a document is a single document, like one image or two images, while for Transkribus, one document is the folder that you uploaded, and in this folder there can be many images. It depends how you decide to organize them. And these are the options. So there are different options to upload your images. Now we are talking about the Transkribus Expert client, which has many more options than Transkribus Lite. So you can use a file transfer protocol, for example, FileZilla, if you want to upload a large amount of documents, of images in one time. I usually don't use this. Then there is the URL of the FG viewer. This is something with, that deals with the German libraries. If you are using a collection or some books digitized from German libraries, this can work for you. You can upload a PDF, and it will extract the images from the PDF and upload one page as one image of the document. Or so these are the things more interesting. PDF, upload single documents, and in this case you need to have a folder on your computer with the images you want to upload. When it asks you local folder, you select the folder and not the images within the folder. So this is a bit tricky. You need to create the folder before with all the images you want to upload, because then you can't select the images at this stage. You can delete later some images, but not at this stage. Or you can upload via a document or a book via the IIIF manifest. The IIIF manifest is a tool that many digital libraries are a standard that many digital libraries are using to publish their digital collections online. The benefit of it is that you don't need to download the book or the images, but you just need this URL, and you put it in Transkribus, and automatically Transkribus connect to the digitized book. So it works, but at the same time, not all the libraries uses IIIF. Probably in the near future years it will be more used, and it depends also about which version of IIIF they are using. For example, the Vatican Library in Rome uses IIIF, but in a version that is not compliant with Transkribus, the one in Transkribus. Then when you upload your images, you will see there all your collections, and with the number of pages and when you uploaded them, and the ID given by Transkribus. And if you double click on one of these on one of these documents, it opens the document. Now, so it's all clear for now? Okay. Now I will give you an overview of the different sections and buttons that we can see in the expert client version. And so this is a normal page, the normal view in Transkribus. There are different sections. So this first one is where you have all the commands to import, export, search, change the setting of your account, and enlarge the photos and save. Then there is this section. So this section is about the collection and the documents, and it's where all the metadata are stored. So you can change or the metadata of your documents if you want to change the name of the folder, or if you want to add some tags. This is the place. And we will use also this section for layout analysis and written text recognition. Then here you have the image, and here below there is the space for the transcription. So I will go, sorry. I will go there and open Transkribus and show you in detail. So I have to choose here. You can choose the collection. I want this one, Transkribus Workshop, and I uploaded some documents. There is not in order in them, and I double clicking on the documents. You see it appears the image with the space for the transcription here below, for example. So starting from this section here at the top, here there is the main menu, and it is important this if you want to install a specific version, check for updates. For example, here it tells you that your version is up to date, or it gives you a message if there is a new version. And it is interesting that you can see what's new in Transkribus, so it's new in the latest version, and you can also send a bug. If you find a bug, you can directly send from here a message and tell Transkribus what doesn't work. With this button, you log out from Transkribus, and here you can change your view. If you want to enlarge the image and don't see the menu here, or this if you want to see only the image without the transcription. So two important buttons, even if they are quite small, are this one. This is to import documents. So this is the screenshot I've shown you before. And this with the green arrow in the opposite direction is to export documents. Okay. Then this is for searching. You can search. This cup of coffee means is where you can see the jobs that you launch, and it helps you if you start a layout analysis, or if you start are training your model. Here you see how it's going and if the job is finished. Here is another section where you can search the text. Here you go to the next pages of your document. This button is to reload the page, and here to save the transcriptions. Now you can save the transcription with different names. New, in progress, done, final, ground truth. Ground truth is used when you are absolutely sure about your transcription and you want to use it for train a model. So normally the ground truth is used when you are sure and you want to use this transcription to train your model. Here you can see different versions of your document. If you want, so now it doesn't show nothing because I have only one version, but you can see here a previous version. If you want, like in Google Docs, you can go back to previous versions. Here the transcription source, so what is behind the metadata, and for now only the image. And here you can change the settings. For example, I'm going back to the first. I want to show the lines reading order, and here I see the numbers of the lines. I prefer to work without this, but for instance here helps me because I see, oh, there is a line here, but it's not really a line, so we need to delete or merge the two lines. Here, if you want to zoom, or no, this is to enlarge some option, and here if you want to zoom, to fit to the page, fit to the width or the original size. And here all other things to change the settings of the image. Then we go to this section, which is the section with the metadata and the tools. In the first one, in the first page, you have your collection and your documents. And clicking on User Manager, you can add the users and choose the roles to assign to them. Here in the overview, you can see all the pages of your documents and if they are in progress or new or ground truth. The layout gives you the different lines of text and lines and regions, and if there is a transcription, it also gives you the transcription. For instance, here appears the transcriptions. Metadata, you use that if you want to add some tags. There are some user tags, so the tags that Transkribus provided are here, but you can also customize them. You can create a new tags, and you can also add properties. For instance, if I click here and I want to add the day tag, the properties are date, month, and year. So we can put a tag, for instance, and the word is underlined because there is this tag, and underneath the transcription there is this tag. I can show you, for instance, one of my documents. Okay. So this is one of the documents I'm working on of the Medici agent, and this is a handwritten newsletter in Italian. I apply HTR and then I transcribe it manually. And here you see LRI is lettere, but this is an abbreviation, so I tag it as an abbreviation, and I wrote the expansion here. I tag the place Rome, and here you see the tag place and the value, so the property is Rome, and here the date. So you need to remember to add the tag, you select the word or the date, and you click on this plus button. Then we go to the tools. This is the place where we can run the jobs for Transkribus. We can give Transkribus the jobs to do. The first is the layout analysis. The second one is the text recognition. So text recognition is the HTR. We'll see it in the afternoon. And then there is the computer accuracy. You can compare this different text version and see how you can, for example, compare two versions of text and see how it performs. I can take this one, for instance, which is no, this is all wrong. No. For instance, here. Okay, this is the comparison between the first text version with HTR and then my corrections. So it doesn't transcribe correctly this word, and I correct in this one, and you see it in green. And then there are other tools. P2Pala is to train layout analysis. So if you have a very distinctive layout, you can give to the machine some examples and say, for example, if you have a printed book, there is always the running title and the paragraph and the comments in the margin, and you can train the machine to recognize automatically these pieces of text. Text to image is to upload transcriptions automatically and make it match the documents, the images. And yes, now we go here to this is the place with the images. We go back to here. These are the buttons to create a text region, a line, a baseline, and some other elements that are very specific. So we are not going to see them right now. We are interested in that, for instance, here you see it takes this comma and this dash as a separate text, as a separate line. We can delete it clicking this button, remove as shape. Or if you want to change the line, we can just add with this button, or here is to delete, to split the lines in vertical, in horizontal, in vertical. And if we want to merge two lines, we have to click one line, then Control, and then this black arrow to merge the two lines together, for example, in this case. If you want to go back, there is always this button Undo, and we are again in the previous version. And here, the space for the transcription, we can also tag the text as bold, as italic, add the subscript, superscript, or underline, or strike through. And if we want to, normally, especially in early modern documents, there are also some special characters. Yeah.
Oh, can you also separate two lines? Just want to ask. Can you also separate two lines?
Yes. For example, with this one, if I want to separate the line, I can split. No, this is horizontal. I can split the line in two.
And you click where?
Yeah, and this is one line, and this is the second one. This is a tool to split. You can also split in with an horizontal line, for instance, in this way. And yeah, if you want to add special characters, which is quite useful and common, there is a virtual keyboard when you have all the special characters in Greek, Hebrew, Latin, Arabic, and all what you need. If you want to add a special character that it's not listed here, you can you go to Custom, and you can edit and add your special characters with the Unicode code, and it appears here. So it seems quite complicated, but when you start to use it, it becomes easier. I promise you. We are here. Okay. Now we will talk about the layout analysis. So we have uploaded our images, but now the image is a simple images without all the text of the text region and the text lines. The lines. We need to do that because the machine needs to know the correspondence between the image and the text and the line we want to transcribe. There are three elements that are important. Text regions, that is highlighted in green, normally is a rectangle encasing whole of the unwritten text contained in the image. If it is a single page photo, you have only one text region. If you have a double page photo of the manuscript, you will have two text regions, one for one page and one for the other page. The baselines are in blue and are the lines that and with the dots that run along the bottom of the text line. The baseline is really important, is the most important element because the HTR technology learns from what they see in the baseline. So it runs at the bottom of the text and it doesn't consider what is above and what is below. And then there is the line region, which is in the color is light blue, and it is the area comprising all the text in the line, so also what is above and what is below. We can run the layout analysis in two different ways. Manually, we can first find the text regions and the baseline, or automatically, and I will show you how to do that. So it's important that that you understand that the base, so the first element is the text region. Without the text region, you can't have the lines and the baselines, and that the baselines are more important than the line regions, because the HTR learns from them. So we take a new page of document, this one. There are some letters of a manuscript from Elizabeth Gaskell. I took that from the John Rollins online library. Okay, this is the, I can also probably take, no, it's okay, this one. I want to find manually the region of text. I click on text region and I draw it here. So you see this is the text region. Now I go here and I need to draw the baselines. So if you create a line, you just you just take the text of the line, but it doesn't, you don't create a baseline, which is the most important element. While if you add a baseline, so it goes at the bottom of the line here, automatically you can create also a line. So if you see here, for example, this is the baseline in blue or gray, and it runs at the bottom, and this is the line region. But for the handwritten text recognition, the important element is the baseline. If you go here, for example, so the baseline should follow the text, the bottom of the text. Here there is this curve, and in this way. And if there are elements below the baseline, it doesn't matter so much. So you don't need to include this part of the letters if it is below. The important is that the baseline runs at the bottom of the words. And this is how you can do text layout analysis manually, but it's very time consuming if you have a lot of documents. So there is a tool to run layout analysis automatically. I will go to a new page so you can see the difference. You go here under tools, and this is the place to run layout analysis. Here you select CT Lab Advanced, because the other two are for printed books. And the current page or all the documents, you can choose what you want to select. You can filter your documents, for instance, if you want only to select the pages labeled as new, as in progress, but we want to do it for the current page. And we want to find the text regions and then the lines within the text regions. You run it. It asks me if I really want to start the layout analysis for this page. I say yes, and then you see here the pop-up message that one job started. If you go here, show jobs, you can see the status of the job, and then say, do you want to reload the current page? Hi.
I just put it here, so there is no table.
Yes, it's okay.
Is it 458, yeah?
It's
458.
yes.
Yeah.
Anne Riordan sent.
Pardon?
Anne Riordan is the.
I just put the room here number.
Okay.
Have it, yeah? Sorry.
And so it's for our coffee break.
Pardon?
It's the coffee and the tea. Thanks. Then it asks us if you want to reload the current page. We can see yes. And now it happens the magic and automatically it takes the text region and all the lines. Thanks. And it detects all the lines. So it's easy to do in this way, and it's automatically. Here below, you see, so the first number is the number of the text region, and the second number is the number of the line. So here, see, there is a problem because it detects also this little space as a text region. So we don't know that, we don't want that, so we delete this shape. So we click on it and we click on remove a shape. Now it's okay. So the layout analysis, the automatic layout analysis works well, but you need to check it because probably it will recognize something that is not really a text region. And so here, see, there is only one text region because you see the number 1 at the beginning, and here is the number of the line. Line number 1, line number 2, line number 3. And this is the first step to do. For instance, here, maybe I don't want this as a text. I have to delete it manually. But it depends what you want to do. For example, if I'm doing a digital edition, so it's important that there are not other lines, other text regions or lines that are not properly lines. But if you just want to search your documents, it is fine also in this way. If you have an extra lines that in reality doesn't mean so much. So this is this part. Do you have questions about the layout analysis and how to upload images or layout analysis? No? Are you scared about that? It seems okay.
I think
No.
just to use it, just to practice.
Yes, later we have an hour to practice it, and we can go to each step. So this is an overview.
Brilliant.
Okay. And we will do each step to do it manually and automatically. But it's important that you understand the concept, that you cannot just put the image and say, oh, transcribe automatically. There are some steps to prepare your documents.
Yeah.
And now for the last minutes, I will show you how it works, this part, the uploading the layout analysis in Transkribus Lite. So this is, in general, Transkribus Lite. It is quite interactive, and it's easier to understand how it works. Here you have your account settings. To log in, you can log in, log out. You see the number of credits you have at your disposal, and the language. Here you have, so the setting is quite different from the software. Here there are the actions, the search, text recognition. You can create a new collection. You can upload some documents. Here, the things to manage your documents and your credits. And here you have the documents, the collection, and your recent jobs. But it's really easy, so you will learn that trying to explore later. it is important to know that everything that is done and saved in Transkribus Lite will appear also in the expert client and vice versa. So if you work in Transkribus Lite one day, later it is also saved also in the other software, and it depends also what you have how do you find, if you prefer one or the other. Transkribus Lite is more interactive and quicker, but at the same time it doesn't offer all the possibilities of the Transkribus expert client software. But I have the idea that they want to promote more Transkribus Lite, and then in the next years probably the expert client software will stop to be used or to be updated. So this is my impression. I'm not sure about that. So when you upload an image in Transkribus Lite, this difference, you can only upload JPEG, PNG, or PDF. You cannot use IIIF or the other options that there are in the expert client. So consider that if you want to upload a big amount of documents or to use IIIF, probably the Transkribus expert client is better. But at the same time, you can just use it the first time to upload your documents and then work on Transkribus Lite if you prefer it. And now I will show you how to do the layout analysis manually and automatically, also in Transkribus Lite. And so this is the first page. You log in. It works well with, I believe, Chrome, Safari, and Edge, but not with Internet Explorer, so don't use that. And so you're here. You see the collections and also your recent jobs. For example, this have already done this, and it appears also in Transkribus Lite. An important thing, this is interactive, so it tells you also the number of pages that you can recognize with your credits. For example, I have this number of credits because I asked a scholarship for having 3 credits. Probably I shouldn't have said that because it's recorded. But yeah, and here you know how many pages you can do with your number of credits. And we go here to the documents, and I want to upload some documents in here in this collection. You see there is only image or a PDF. There is not the option, the other options, and I take a document from my computer, this one, and I select them. In the Transkribus expert client, you can only select the folder and not the images inside them, while here I can just select one or both. So probably, yeah, and I submit the uploading. I refresh the page, and now I see my documents here. If I go to the Transkribus expert client and I reload the collection, it appears also there.
Sara, how did you get your document to appear? You said you refreshed, is it?
Yes, here below there is reload the current page.
in the no, but in light?
In light, just refresh the browser page.
Yeah.
Okay, now we go. So here, you tell me, oh, there is no transcription. So Transkribus Lite try to encourage you to apply HTR, obviously because you need to pay for that. And so there are various places in the page where you have this message, start automatic transcription. You can also start it automatically without applying the layout analysis before, and it does all together, but I prefer to do them separately because in this way you can check it and for instance, in my case, I have different volumes. I always apply the layout analysis, then I quickly check all the pages because there are also white pages and I don't want to apply HTR to the white pages because I lose credits for them and there is no text. So there are some tricks to try to save your credits. And so this is only the view page. Here here is just to see the documents, and here you will see the transcription. But to edit it and edit the layout, you need to go here. And here you can create your text region. Okay. In this case, I prefer for the layout analysis the other version, but you can do also here. And you can add a line with this pen. I'm doing it very quickly. And here you have all the options and the settings if you want to delete one line, undo something, and so on. And you need, if you go here, you go back. If you click again on layout analysis, and I have to save, and then I can go back and the lines appear here. You can do also automatically this layout analysis here. You select the page, or you select, so you can both select all the volume, all the document, and with all the pages, or you can just select one page on which you want to run the layout analysis. And here you click on layout recognition. Baseline detection is what we want because it's an unwritten document, and we start it. Okay. Now if we open again, we will see all the text lines, and there is no transcription, so for this reason here is blank, but if we go here where there is the pencil, we can add our transcription. In this case, there is another error because there is a text region that doesn't correspond to anything. So we need to go to the layout analysis page, and here you see all the lines. Click on the text region and cancel it. Then save and go back. And here we can add our transcriptions and after that we can save it. So don't worry, we will see in detail all these elements later. We have 1 hour to go through this. I want just to tell you that there are these two options, and these are the first steps to do.